Good evening, I'm Robert Hadlock. Britt will be back later tonight. The 18-year-old accused of setting an Austin synagogue on fire now facing federal charges. Newly unsealed documents give us more insight into why investigators think he did it. KXAN's Brianna Hollis is live outside the Congregation Beth Israel temple with more on what's in that report.
Well, Robert, crime tape is still up. You still can't get into the sanctuary, and the FBI agent who wrote the report says he deals with cases relating specifically to hate crimes, but the FBI hasn't outright said that's what it's investigating. So we got some insight on hate crime criteria from a retired Austin judge. The doors to Congregation Beth Israel are still shut, but the case against the 18-year-old accused of setting it on fire has opened up. An FBI affidavit contains Franklin Sechriest's journal entries about the plans he laid out for his alleged arson. On October 28th, he wrote, "Scout out a target." Surveillance video shows his Jeep in the parking lot of Congregation Beth Israel that night. Then, on Halloween, in blue ink, while the rest of his notes were in black, the note, "I set a synagogue on fire."
They have to make some type of determination internally to see if this is an allegation that could be proven or whether this was just a random circumstance.
The FBI defines a hate crime as, quote, a criminal offense against a person or property motivated in whole or in part by an offender's bias.
It is very rare for an individual to be charged with a hate crime against a structure versus a hate crime committed against an individual.
That's because Barrett says it can be harder to prove, but he says if evidence reveals hate was obviously the motive, charges against Sechriest will be enhanced to, quote, arson plus a hate crime. The affidavit says investigators found anti-Semitic stickers in one of the cars at Sechriest's home, as well as a racial slur in one of his planning notebooks.
See if there was any type of statement, any type of email, any type of social media posting.
Barrett says it's too early to speculate how much that sentence could increase, and it does typically take 3 to 6 months to bring an official hate crime forward. Sechriest's attorney would not return our multiple calls today. Live in Austin, Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
Since 2014, the FBI completed annual reports showing the number of religious bias hate crimes has risen by more than 50%. But you see the number in the anti-Jewish attacks each year. Well, each year it's more than half of all reported incidents, with a high of 60% in 2019. In response to the synagogue fire, other recent high-profile anti-Semitic protests around Austin, hundreds rallied at the state capitol yesterday to protest hate. ATX Kind, a group formed by Jewish women in Austin, organized this event with support from Shalom Austin and the Austin region's Anti-Defamation League.